Hello, everyone. Again, I am really, I trust you're well, and it's wonderful to see so many participants in this open learning seminar, which shows the strength of this community committed to transformation. Both Sandra, also called Alejandra, and I, Miriam, are delighted to be here to share this collective work on shared agendas in Catalonia. I must say also that there are several, there are some of the people directly working with the strategy that are joining us today. So it will be great to hear from them later on when we finish the presentation. So and let me go directly to a first understanding of shared agendas. Shared agendas are a key instrument of the smart specialization strategy of Catalonia that we call RIS3CAT. They can be defined as initiatives that, through a participatory governance model, coordinate the collective action of various stakeholders to address a common challenge, usually linked to SDGs, and the problems that this challenge may generate. In both narrative and practice, this approach of shared agendas, which primarily started evolving in 2019, is influenced by the TIPC approach. Where are the shared agendas taking place? It's important to note that while some shared agendas may bring together local initiatives that existed before the formalization of the concept, the approach and the smart specialization strategy are led by the regional government of Catalonia, which operates within the decentralized Spanish governance system. The strategy is coordinated by the Secretariat for Economic Affairs and European Funds, which falls under the Department or Ministry of Economy. Catalonia is highlighted on the map as the dark green areas, as I hope you can see. Moving to the presentation of the shared agendas approach, shared agendas facilitate the collective action of multiple stakeholders aimed at addressing systemic challenges related to socio-technical systems transformation and transition to a sustainable socio-economic model. These agendas are organized at the grassroots level and focus on place-based challenges aligned with EU and regional priorities. The territorial scope of these agendas can range from local to regional to translocal, depending on the specific challenge. The construction of a shared agenda is formally described as occurring in 3 steps, beginning with preparing the foundation for collective action. This first step of preparation is based on 3 key elements: the construction of a collective vision of a place-based future aligned with systems change and SDGs. This shared vision of the future is thought to be ambitious and inspiring, motivating stakeholders to explore new transformation pathways towards it. A second part of this step wants to enhance a systemic understanding of the challenge that the agenda aims to address, the socio-technical systems in which it is embedded, the dominant practices and potential alternatives. It also, this step also aims at the identification and connection of actors who share the vision of the future and are already experimenting with alternatives to the current dominant practices. The second step involves building, nurturing, empowering, and strengthening strategies and spaces to support, connect, reinforce networks of actors who are experimenting with existing and new initiatives aligned with the shared vision of the future. These spaces for experimentation are oriented towards imagining, exploring, and implementing new transformative pathways and innovative solutions and practices that align with the desired shared vision. Simultaneously, shared agendas connect with incumbent actors who are seeking opportunities to facilitate the growth and institutionalization of these new alternatives. Finally, the third step is the culmination of the previous stages and refers to the adoption and institutionalization of the developed alternatives, leading to the transformation of or replacement of dominant practices. Shared agendas have a participative governance structure and are articulated around a theory of change, which is built through the formative evaluation approach developed within TIPC. And this theory of change is used to set up an evaluation, monitoring, and learning framework. Moving to the wider policy context, Catalonia's strategy for smarter specialization frames shared agendas in relation to major global challenges, such as climate change, pollution, resource waste, unemployment, social inequalities, and an aging population, and the need to accelerate the transition towards a sustainable and fair socioeconomic model. The RIS3 CAT prioritizes 7 systemic transformations, which provides the context for shared agendas. The 7 systemic transformations, as you can see, target the food system, the energy and resource system, the mobility and logistics system, the social and healthcare system, the industrial system, the education and knowledge generation system, and the cultural system. To encourage the engagement of regional stakeholders in these previous systemic transformations, the RIS3 CAT has implemented 2 main instruments. The so-called the Opportunity Discovery Mechanism and the Knowledge Regions Program. As this image represents, these are instruments put in place by regional government to connect place-based dynamics, that is shared agendas, to the systemic transformations at the regional level prioritized by the RIS3 CAT. We would like to quickly describe both of these instruments. First, the Opportunity Discovery Mechanism established this year is, I would say, an experimental governance mechanism architecture to promote the communication and alignment of bottom-up challenges and initiatives to regional priorities and other actors. It is organized into 7 technical offices that you see below, 1 for each of the systemic transformations prioritized by RIS3 CAT. The technical offices are assigned to different government ministries according to their competences. There are 18 newly created positions of people of ministries and people of ministries structures working in the ODM. These people work for instance, for the Ministry of Climate Action or the Ministry of Research and Universities. And again, there are some of them here with us, so it would be great to hear from them later. Through the ODM, the government wants to promote the active involvement of stakeholders, including regional and local administrations, universities, research and technology centers, companies and civil society organizations in place-based shared agendas, contributing to the systemic transformations prioritized that I mentioned before. It aims to do so by fostering a new profile of policymakers with knowledge on transformative innovation policy and systems thinking, and with the skills to engage multiple stakeholders in transformative collective action. The staff engaged with the ODM is undertaking functions such as the analysis of initiatives, opportunities, and obstacles linked to the transformative processes guiding the direction of shared agendas. They are also thought to give support to place-based shared agendas, for example, through the facilitation of workshops and innovation camps. The ODM, which is meeting monthly since it was set up, is also responsible for creating learning spaces where actors involved in the systemic transformations prioritized by the strategy interact to develop new methodologies and tools, discuss mindsets, underpin their practices, and adapt and develop conceptual frameworks and evaluation approaches. Shifting to the Knowledge Regions program, this program fosters and supports universities and research centers in their participation in shared agendas and transformative innovation initiatives. For the whole set of Catalan universities, 12 Catalan universities, the program envisages the articulation within these universities of transformative innovation labs, which are managed by professionals with the skills in transformative innovation, systems thinking, and stakeholders engagement. These professionals will collaborate with they are already collaborating with the ODM staff and with stakeholders engaged in shared agendas. In the overall risk-free CAT strategy, they are key for connecting and engaging researchers and students with regional and local challenges and local dynamics. The rolling up of the Regions of Knowledge program has already started. Among those processes being followed, we would like to highlight the co-creation together with participants from the 12 Catalan universities of the conditions to be fulfilled by researchers engaging with this program. These conditions are informed by TIP principles. You have them summarized in this bullet point list. And for instance, we can highlight that to be able to engage with this program, the researchers have to connect with an initiative addressing a place-based challenge, meaningful for the stakeholders in the territory, and linked with the systemic transformations prioritized by the risk-free CAT. Also, throughout the engagement, researchers and stakeholders have to share and apply a systemic understanding, addressing issues in different systems dimensions of the place-based challenge. Okay, now after presenting shared agendas and their policy context and logic, I will hand over the floor to Sandra to explain Ingenio's collaboration with the regional Catalan government.
Okay, thanks, Miriam. Well, thanks all of you for being here, and also especially thanks to Christoph, Vicky, Pip, and Annie that set up all this open learning event. Okay, I'm going to refer a little bit about our engagement. We use this TIPC name of experimental policy engagement because this is how we define the engagement between Ingenio, our research institute, and the Catalan government to develop all this all transformative innovation policy. And we are totally convinced that one of the elements of the success of this long engagement, because we start working together in 2020, so it's more than, well, almost 3 years of collaboration, is our common understanding of co-creation. So we are co-creating together this transformative innovation policy. And particularly what we did, so we developed in 3 years, from 2021 to 2023, the 3 shared agendas, 3 particular shared agendas. We developed the theories of change, we set up monitoring and evaluation learning plans, and at the moment we are contributing to innovation camps on bioeconomy and energy. This is a develop of the shared agendas at the moment. Also, we did research. We have finished recently research on the challenges and opportunities of shared agendas from the perspective of the different participants. Then also we are designing at the moment, and we will start by the end of this year and all the next year, a cycle of seminar and on transforming higher education institution. So, and these seminars will follow up of an action-oriented engagement with Catalan academics. This is something to be done next year. And also we are, of course, writing papers and book chapters as part of our common collaboration. So Mira, this text. Also, we are working at the moment on a theory of change of all the smart specialization strategy, the RIS 3 CATs, and it's something that we are developing at the moment. Also a monitoring, evaluation, learning system, not because This is in collaboration with other Catalan organizations, but we try to contribute to how the different outcomes of the smart specialization strategy of the Catalan government can be monitored, and how we can capture all this data. Also, especially Miriam, who is living in Barcelona, and she's really involved in many facilitation settings in different ways. So she's contributing on the capacity building in the learning and co-creation space with the different Catalan university, and participating in one of the mechanisms that she described before, the opportunity discovery mechanism. And also next year, we will start to work with the different labs to develop different transformative innovation labs, theories of change. So we have to help people that are part of these labs to develop the different theories of change. So this is more or less what we did together. This is a little bit, next please, yeah, fine. An explanation of the 3 demonstrators that we developed in the last, from 2021 to 2023, 3 shared agendas. One in Lleida, in one of the it's a big province of the Catalan territory, and also include other places close to Lleida. And this is the main challenge addressed in the Lleida shared agenda is adopting a green circular economic model based on the use of local resources. So it's an agenda around the bioeconomy potential of this location, this space. And the main typology of factors involved in this particular shared agendas are the provincial government, universities, technological centers, farmers, chambers of commerce, and local authorities. The second one is the Valles shared agenda, and the challenge is on the aging population and the effect of aging population on chronic disease. And so it's more on the health system. And the main actors are university, local hospitals, health companies, public technological centers, again, the Chamber of Commerce, Association of Caregivers, and local governments. And finally, the third one is a shared agenda of a university, the Autonomous University of Barcelona. And we work together with different participants of the university, governing bodies, lecturers, faculty, students, local authorities, etc., or that belong to the same university and to external organization, to face the challenge of imagine and put into practice a university connected to its environment in order to allow to identify and address territorial challenges. So the university wants to face those challenges and working together with local actors to address these challenges. So these 3 shared agendas are the demonstrators of what is going on at the moment in Catalonia, because the idea is these 3 cases will inspire new development of another shared agendas all around the Catalan geography. So this is more or less the 3 demonstrators. Next slide, please. I'm not going to talk about the formative evaluation because I think you know, but well, we use the formative evaluation methodology to develop these 3 shared agenda with a first moment of sense making, of understanding mutual expectation, mapping the system, mapping the potential of the system, etc. Then we have a moment to design the change trajectories or the change pathways, and we use this idea of transformative theories of change that we have developed in our formative evaluation approach. And also we develop a learning and monitoring and learning evaluation plan together with the 3 stakeholders, main stakeholders of the 3 shared agendas. And at the moment, there are other things going on, some deployment and some outputs. I'm going to refer a little bit later on what is happening at the moment. So this is more or less how we develop the formative evaluation together with the local stakeholders and the regional government, of course, in these 3 different shared agendas. This one. Those are the representation of 3 different theories of change. This is something that we have worked a lot in TIPC. And well, we use the 12 transformative outcome. I assume that you know, and you know that in the resource lab, there are a lot of information and tools about this transformative outcome and how to develop the shared agendas in using this theory and also this methodology. So these are the 3 representation of the 3 different shared agendas, the 3 different change trajectories of the 3 shared agendas that connect the inputs, activities, outputs, outcomes, and impact. That's more or less how, with different representation, and always understanding that those theories of change are flexible and are also a tool to reflect and learn about the process, and can be, and not can be, should be revisited and transformed or along the initiative, no, during the different years. So next one, this is some development of what is going on at the moment with 2 of these agendas. Well, the JADAS one, the one centered on bioeconomy, is trying to develop research centers linked to bioeconomy, also an industrial biorefinery. So this is something, those are the plans around the shared agenda of JADA, and also action related to capacity building. They are hosting innovation camps. We can explain more later on if you want this idea of the innovation camps. There was a camp on bioeconomy, and then people of the regional government together with us, they are preparing a new camp on energy. And from the other side, the budget agenda, the one that will focus on health, they are create entrepreneurship platform, no, to contribute to have more entrepreneurs developing tools and materials related with bioengineering. And also they are working on a data lake. So they are trying to capture and produce different data related with health and aging, no, around the budgets area. So this is two of the development that are going on at the moment in these 2 agendas. And just to finish and start some discussion with you, next one, we have prepared, well, this reflection that are our reflection on this experimental policy engagement. So what we can say about our way of working together based on co-creation, as I said before, we notice and we can highlight that transformative innovation policy is extremely meaningful if it is combined with practice, with real practice, and also place-based deployments. So the combination of the theory of the transformative innovation policy theory plus its application on real context, no, and place and real places is really meaningful to refine the theory and also to enhance the application. And what we can say is the political context matters a lot in this bringing the theory into practice. So this is something important. Also, in our engagement, we have developed, we have tested, and we have improved on real-time new methodologies, especially the formative evaluation, but also we are working together in improving and understanding better the potential of system mapping. And this is something that came from the side of the regional government. So we are working together in enhancing and developing better these kind of methodologies. Also, another remark is working in this with this shared agenda approach, which is around place-based challenge. We were able to reach and involve a variety of different stakeholders. And if I compare my own experience in other TIPC engagement with what we are doing in Catalonia, I can see that in this case, in Catalonia, there is a wide range of different stakeholders involved in our engagement. And I think this is very good. This is very good, and we can learn something from this approach based on place. No, this is something really interesting. And another remark is in this shared agenda that are driven by the regional government and where we can find many actors, many local and regional governments, research centers, and also universities as main actors, which are the regime actors, the incumbents normally. So in this engagement, we can see that those actors inside the regime can play a meaningful role to transformation. And we are trying to understand better which is the role and the opportunities and the challenges, etc. But I think it's a nice example of how actors that are inside the regime can really contribute to transformation. Also, we are contributing to scaling up the shared agendas approach in other regions, of course in Catalonia, as I explained before, but also in Europe and worldwide. And TIPC, the Transformative Innovation Policy Consortium, and the Transformative Innovation Policy bring relevancy to the shared agendas approach. This is something that has been acknowledged many times by the regional government. Moreover, this model of co-creation is inspiring other developments in TIPC. Mainly, I think this model of co-creation between research and policymaker is inspiring the future development of the European hub of TIPC. This is really a good contribution. And well, something that is very, I mean, is essential in TIPC, but also is really important for us is all of that is possible because we are cultivating a relation based on trust, mutual recognition, flexibility, and humility. So this is really important because it's a long engagement for more than 3 years, and those are some ingredients that are really helpful to keep reflecting and learning all along the engagement. And just to finish, we have a slide, next one, Miriam, on there is a dedicated space, a new space in TIPC about the shared agendas in Catalonia, and you can find a short, briefing about all what we have said and what we have shown here. And also, you have 2 different web pages where you can find more information. One is the web page of the Smart Specialization Strategy with some papers and documents in Catalan, in English or Spanish, and there is a dedicated space in one of the Ingenio web page that we call Ithaca. Ithaca is the name from we recognize this engagement with the regional government of Catalonia, and also in that web page you can find other materials and other links. So that's all from my side. Thanks a lot for your attention, and we are open to discussion, comments, etc.
If I could I start by asking Ashish, perhaps you might want to introduce yourself, and you had a question about the healthcare focus on resilience and also adaptive.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Actually, in India also, we are working on this concept of, having the sustainable development goals aligned with the innovative process. Now, in terms of a multi-actor context, there is this understanding that governance structures or, relations of ownership and control are almost defunct as far as implementing innovation is concerned. So, there's sort of a view that ecosystems approaches are more efficient. Now, particularly, there's a particular ecosystem approach that I'm talking about, which is called as ecosystem cybernetic approach, which talks about the development of 2 characteristics called as adaptive flexibility and resilient stability. Now, I noticed that in the 7 transformative items that were mentioned for the transitions as part of the shared agendas project, there was this mention of a resilient healthcare system. Now, purely from an innovation standpoint, my question is whether adaptive flexibility is more desirable than just having resilience of the system, because from a systemic viewpoint, probably resilience is desirable, but overall, in terms of from an innovation standpoint, is adaptive flexibility more relevant? So I was just trying to contextualize those 2 features. Yeah.
Thank you for the question. So that I can put that to Miriam and Sandra, would you be able to say for a layperson who doesn't come from the innovation studies, how would you define the difference between the resilience and the adaptive capacity?
Vicky, why don't we collect more questions? Because we don't have so much time, so maybe we can collect more, and then we can split between Miriam and myself, and maybe she can answer some of them and I can answer others.
Absolutely. We also have a question from Len, who had a question about the transformative innovation labs in the universities. Do you want to quickly say a bit about that, Len?
Yes, sure. Thanks, Vicky. Miriam, Sandra, thanks very much for a very interesting talk. I was taken by the idea of the university-based laboratories, the transformative innovation laboratories. I'm just wondering about structure and recruitment for those. So are these the equivalent of like a living laboratory, for example? And do you have difficulties recruiting people for that? What kind of people do you tend to recruit for these laboratories?
Thank you, Len. And then we'll just run through the questions so Sandra and Miriam have got them ready. So then we had a question from Pablo about governance of the agendas. Did you want to say anything, Pablo, or do you want me to read it out?
Hi, Victoria.
Hello.
I am here. I have a question. Thank you very much, Sandra, for your presentation. I would like to know who organized the different actors in the agenda, who is the governance in this space.
Great question. Thank you. And then there's just 2 more questions. They keep popping in. So there's one from Johan around the capabilities necessary. And then one from Manuel around the identification of stakeholders and how that influences the understandings of the problem. Perhaps some overlap there with Pablo. Is that okay? I'll hand it over to you.
Thanks, Vicky. Miriam, do you want to start with maybe the governance? And I think the innovation labs, there are people inside this meeting that can answer, because they are working in the regional government. So I don't know if some of you that are part of the regional government, they want to answer about that. But do you want to start, Miriam, with some of the questions?
I will also give the floor to the rest of people engaged in the regional Catalan government to discuss any of the questions if they want. So I'd say that there are, as far as the current shared agendas, the agendas that we have identified, there are different levels of maturity of these agendas. And this also is reflected and this also shows on the type of governance mechanisms that they have implemented so far. So, for instance, the case of the Lleida shared agenda, which is the more mature one, they have several mechanisms. They have that have also at the same time been evolving since they started. So they have a committee and a strategic committee that is currently configured by 10 members, 10 institutions, which are the regional government, the provincial government, but also chambers of commerce, labor unions. I had them, there are 10 of them. You have the City Council of Lleida and university, the University of Lleida. And apart from this strategic committee, they also have a technical office that is located within the provincial government of Lleida that very much coordinates the overall shared agenda. In the case of Bages, for instance, they are building up currently a structure for the governance. But at the beginning, the core group of people leading the shared agenda belonged to different organizations. There was a very important role played by people of one of the universities in the area. Some people from the city council of the capital of the region, people connected to hospitals, and a public technology center that started the agenda and are currently building the governance structure to make it more complex. And in the UAB, you have a strong commitment of the governing university body, but also an office that is dedicated, with a staff dedicated to fostering this challenge-based approach to learning. And regarding the labs, they are the people recruited. I mean, the people recruited will be recruited by the universities. It is their responsibility to decide who is going to be involved in these labs. There are certain requirements regarding the profile or the functions that these people will have to undertake. And at the same time, these people, there will be a team related to the coordination of the lab and the articulation of the lab with the overall strategy, but it is also envisaged to have an ecosystem of actors within each university that are engaged with this lab, depending on their relationship with shared agendas. I don't know if this covers, Len, your question, and perhaps other people.
I don't know if someone from the regional government want to say something about Adria, Ferran. I know that you are there. You want to add something about the
Elvira profile? Elvira is also an ODM office staff working with health, and perhaps she can also answer the question on the difference on the approach on resilience taken by the strategic orientation of the RIS3CAT.
Any of you?
Ferran, Adrià.
There.
Don't be shy.
Yeah. Good afternoon to all of you. And thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Miriam. I will ask Juan Luis that if I say something wrong, maybe he can correct me. But the main thing, or one important thing about these labs, is that in each university we're going to sign a little budget, so several thousand euros, and the main important thing is that it's not going to be something that is competitive between universities, so that the universities have to compete for that budget, but they're going to have a basic budget already pre-assigned. And apart from that, they're going to have extra budget to do their functions. And the other thing is that those labs are going to have a very small team. So directly engaged with the coordination of the lab, it's going to be maybe one or two people that are going to be hired. But apart from that, their main goal is to try to engage other researchers inside the university to engage again with transformative projects and to support shared agendas.
Yes, I'm Juan Luis, yes, from the Government of Catalonia as well. Just to support what Ferran has just said, This will be developed through expression of interest. The university, all of them, 12 of the universities of Catalonia, public and private, will have budget for this development through a period of initially of 2 years. And we're talking about that the biggest universities, as they can develop more and have more impact in the territory and with all different actors, will have much more budget. But all the universities will have budget. Then there will be, as he has said, a small team, which will be the more or less not the coordinators, but the facilitators inside the university in order to identify all the possible shared agendas with all different actors in the territory, but also there will be another profile, which will be the people who will deal directly with innovative approaches, with innovation, with research that will be not from the core team, but will collaborate with them in order to achieve this objective of searching for shared agendas and innovative approaches. That's all. Thank you.
Just to add something, I think the approach of this RIS-RESCAT, the smart specialization, is really experimental, and this is something really good. That I mean, they have created a protected space in some way. So maybe not all the profiles of the researchers, of the people that will belong to the labs, or from the other side, people that are working in this mechanism of discovery opportunities, no, from the administration side, will really correspond to the ideal profile of a person in that space that is able to understand challenges and bridges and things. But, well, they have created this protected space, and they will see, we will see. And some of them that probably will perform very well, and maybe others not. No, so part of this experiment is see what is going on better, learn about the implication of the different people in the different parts, and try to develop and refine, no, the different instruments that the RISCAT has in mind, which is, I think, is a really experimental, and it's good. I think it's a good movement, no, from the side of the regional government to protect this niche, to develop these different strategies. And something about the first question about healthcare, I don't think this understanding of resilience from the people of the shared agenda is opposite to an understanding of an adaptive system, adaptive learning. So maybe it's a matter of understanding the particular, no, word of resilience in that specific case, but they are using, and all the shared agendas are using, an adaptive and learning approach in the government, no, as Miriam explained before. So there is nothing against that approach in this shared agenda, even if they use the word resilience.
It is worth saying, perhaps, and Ferran, Juan Luis, Adria, correct me if I'm wrong, that Carla, I see also Carla, that Elvira, that the 7 priorities are also representing the keywords of the whole government of Catalonia that are, I mean, there is a willingness to connect the strategy, the smart specialization strategy, to the, even if it's very loosely, in the sense that it's open to the keywords that different departments or key policy documents are using when defining the challenges they face. And this was, we know that this was a negotiation, there was a negotiation between those leading the strategy, some of them are here, and some other departments that have already policies written up on how they envisage they work in government. But there is a there is this will to try to bring other lines of work within the administration within this strategy, not forcing, but just inviting them to participate.
Thank you, Miriam. I'm afraid we're going to have to wrap up now, just because these sessions are very short, sort of lunchtime sessions. So we're really limited on time, but it's been great to have such excellent questions. And we will be having a lot of information, like Sandra said, on the website, for the TIPC website, about this particular programme of experimentation. So hopefully people will be able to learn more as some outputs come through as well onto that website. So can I finish then by saying a huge thank you to Miriam and to Sandra for coming to share this work, and with the colleagues from Catalonia as well for joining online. And also thank you to Annie and to Pip for helping to organise this session today. So we'll be back next week for another session of coming together to learn about some more work that's happening in the knowledge community on transformative innovation policy. And next week, with the Joint Research Centre at the European Commission, we'll have Christian Matti talking about co-creation for policy. And then also we'll have Len with us on the 21st of November talking about contestation and how we can harness tensions for transition. So we've got some interesting events coming up. We've got Manuel coming as well later on in the month, and others. And although these first few events just happen to have a bit of a European flavour, that's certainly not the case. We've got events that we're in planning at the moment for focusing on work in Brazil, in Indonesia, and also in South Africa. So there'll be lots of opportunity to learn from other parts of the world as well. So thank you very much, and hopefully we'll see you next week and subsequent weeks as we restart this series.